Good morning. No, it's not morning. It's afternoon. It's evening. It's night. It is Terrific Tuesday time. Hi. Welcome to Terrific Tuesday. I am your host, Jeremiah. Nice to meet you. Give me 1 second. Let me send out my links. Give me 1 second. Let's send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. And give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out your links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. Give me 1 second. I'll send out my links. How are you? I'm good, Iggy. Iggy. Can't you see? Terrific Tuesday's got a hold on me. How are you? How's your day? Can you hear me okay? Am I coming in clear? Tell me, Iggy. I'd like to know. Can you tell me? I want to know about the people like me. Give me more. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sending out my links. Sending out my links. Hi, how are you though? I hope you're having a wonderful. I'll see you. Okay, fantastic. Wonderful. I am. Here's Jana. Hold on. I am having a good day. Wonderful. There's Jana. Okay, Iggy and William. William's going to be a little late. That's fine. I know, right? And then let me send it to Creep Night. There you go, Creep Night. All right, it's to SP, so I think we're good. I think we're superly, duperly awesome, amazing, fabulously, super great, phenomenally spectacular. Bring it in, baby. How are you? How's your wonderful day? Can you hear me? I hope so. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this mojo. Let's get started. Oh, man. The sound's off. Hold on. Give me 1 second. What? Hold on. Terrific Tuesday. Oh.
Dancing feet.
There we go. There's. How's that?
Tuesday. It's Terrific Tuesday.
So it works better than we thought. Awesome. Hey. Told you, I'm always trying something. Welcome to Terrific Tuesday. I am your host, Jeremiah. Iggy, are you working right now? Oh. Old me. Okay, cool. So I decided to try a different computer. So this is the old computer that I used to do a lot of the Terrific Tuesdays on. So it has all the old Terrific Tuesday kind of pictures. So that being said, I was like, I'll try it. Now, if you also notice, I have my Terrific Tuesday mic. Haven't seen this one on Terrific Tuesday for a hot minute. What? Anyways. Wonderful, I tell you. Okay, cool. Let's do that. You have to remember I'm doing this with my toes. My toes. I saw the fear inside of your eyes. I said, no, you were no place to be. Perfect. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Saw the fear inside of your eyes. Don't you worry, one day we will die. Hi, how are you? Are you having a superly duperly awesome, amazing, fabulously super great, phenomenally spectacular time? So I was thinking whenever I was coming up with this rhythm, it's like, saw your word outside of the road. I said, don't you worry, we got no place to go. Saw the fear inside of your eyes. I said, don't you worry, one day we will all die. And I felt your love the moment we met. I said, please, oh God, don't let this be all that I get. Something like that. I don't know how it'd go fully yet, but saw the fear outside of the road. I said, don't you worry, no place to go. Something like that. Something has to be there. Saw the fear inside of your eyes. I said, don't you worry, one day we will all die. And I saw the fear on the side of the road. I said, don't you worry, I got no place to go. I found that love the first day we met, and I swore to God, please don't let this be all that I get. Something has to be like dum 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 da 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 da. Oh. All right, one day I'll get it. Hi. Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Am I too loud? Am I too soft? I'm trying a new microphone, so hopefully I'm not coming in like I'm screaming, but also hopefully I'm not coming in like I'm too, like it's too soft. So please tell me. Hi, hello, welcome to Terrific Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. I know, right? Did you see what I did there? Terrific Tuesday. I know. With me, Jeremiah Callihan. No, with me, Jeremiah Callihan. You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you. All right, hold on. Oh gosh, stop. Oh my. No, not that one. Come on. Hey! Old logo. I was gonna go with that for a hot second. And then obviously, but before that one, it was that one. Because we had that one for a second, right? I don't feel like I've done a lot of logo changes. Like I know that I've had that one, and then I've had a few other ones. So I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, I know William is. So if Terrific Tuesday tonight's just me playing the guitar, like I have 2 viewers, I'm fine with that actually. I saw the fear inside of. Oh yeah. I saw your fear inside of the road. I felt your fear inside of the road. I said, don't you worry, we've got no place to go. And I heard the fear inside of the road. And I told you, don't worry, we've got no place to go. So, la 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 la. It started with a heartbeat, told it go faster. Told me, baby, don't you go on and ask her. Tell me that you love me so, and please don't ever let me go. And baby, I want you so bad. Oh my God, no, I stop. So, don't call Hiroshima. Oh boy. We're back at Terrific Tuesday. I'm gonna wait until that there, and then I'm gonna go here. Come on. Windows key. Come on. Oh boy. It's really hard to see without my fucking glasses. Oh, come on. Okay, so here's that. You've got a bit, kid. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic. I finally found my glasses. You found your glasses today. hold on. Ah, hi, you found your glasses today. Hey, that's winning. It's a good day to find your glasses. See, it sucks whenever you can't find your glasses. For me, I'd be an absolute wreck. Before, I'd be in denial, but now I can't even be in denial because if I lose my glasses, I can't see. There are times that I have forgotten my glasses at home and I started driving and I'm like, why is it so blurry? Like, why is it so blurry? And then it dawns on me kind of like the clarity there. And then I'm like, holy snarkies. Oh my God. And then I forgot my glasses at home. And I have to like safely turn around and go back. So there's that. I'm trying to, so the lines aren't normally here. And the only difference, so what it is it's the refresh rate. So each, like the camera and then the screen, they have two different refresh rates. And no, I low-key have been winging driving. Well, hey, that's reassuring. My full confidence in your driving abilities. Yes, we need to get a call on Jessica. She's been yeah. Don't mention that I'm the one that turned her in. Okay, can't be done. Oh, what? She reported me too. Oh, great. Never mind. Let's forget this conversation ever happened. Whoa. See what? Oh my God, I have missed this microphone, but I've also missed the stand that also goes with it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I didn't know if I wanted to start it off with that because I think that that's how I actually normally had it before. But who wants to talk like that? Or talk like that? Because I know it can get me. Hey, 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 woo, woo. Or you can go upwards. But then that's there. So then I'd have to do this. This is the best part about experimenting. You can experiment with shit and you can just, it works or it doesn't work. But now it's just like, asymmetrical. But if I go zoom in, then you lose the microphone. And then the aesthetic's gone, right? I don't know. Try that. Low key, I'm going to have a podcast. And on that podcast, it's going to actually have all the elements that I have over the time learned with Terrific Tuesday of what works and what doesn't work. Can't say I didn't tell you because I've been telling you this whole damn time. Oh, I humor myself. Oh, I humor myself. It's better to humor yourself than shit on yourself. That's what she said. Nothing. Nothing. What? I did not say it's better. I didn't say it was worse. I didn't say whatever. And I'm not dead, so don't please call a hearse. Cause this is my cowboy song. Hopefully one day I'll sing along. Dum diddy 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 dum diddy. What the fuck do you do when you're having a bad day? Then you start with giving all of your fucks away. What do you do when you don't give a shit? Stop picking up your phone. That's what you do. Stop talking to people. If you're having a bad day and it's shitty, stop talking to people. You're just gonna make it worse. What will they think if I don't talk to them? Nobody thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. They're probably gonna forget about you in 20 seconds. Do you think you're so important that if you don't answer your phone, they will call in a militia? No. Very rarely do people actually put in and call in the initiative of calling in a whole militia or a legion of people. We put this importance on ourselves to which we think we're actually more important than we actually are. And in fact, people actually aren't thinking about you. And it's not in a mean way. They don't have the capacity to think about you as much as you might like them to think about you. People fall in love and interest in concepts. We like movies because it's a concept of something that unlocks in our imagination to which helps us feel like we can imagine as we did when we were kids. You know, that thing where the parents beat it the fuck out of us and then we can't even muster up an original thought anymore. When we were kids, it was so much easier. Now we look at artists and actresses and poets and politicians and teachers and leaders to try to get that just a tiny ounce of what we willingly gave up when we were children. And we're desperately trying to find it back. And the only time you really get it back is when you're too old, too slow, too senile, maybe have dementia, and you get it back because you stopped looking for it. If you want your imagination back, if you want your whimsical innocence of a child back, it never left. But you forgot it. You forgot how to allow yourself to be in that mindset for just a moment. Because if I go into this whimsical mindset, then we have this internal fear. Well, I can't because I'll lose grip on the reality to which I've curated. And I need to hold on to that reality because it's bringing me the means of financial support, emotional support, friendship support. And I can't leave this proverbial reality for a whimsical, imaginary reality. And so what we do is that we tacitly, so quietly, and we very strategically live out that type of whimsical mindset through movies and music and romances. And it's been spoon-fed to us our whole entire life. And if one person can be inspired by another person, and that person that inspired them has this moment of fulfillment, they say, thank you. Why? Because not because they felt the whimsical, magical moment, but because they helped you find it. And I'd rather, damn it, let you find it. And I know that you found it because I can see the twinkle in your eye. Even though if that means that I don't ever find it again. Because I know it exists. Damn it. What's up, Holly? Hi, Creep Night. What? Sorry, I was going on a tangent about whimsical imaginations. Before that, I was playing guitar. It's been a beginning of a terrific Tuesday. What did I miss? I got the mic back What? Ooh, sounds fun. Who's Holly? Hi, Holly. Holly Pope. Holly. Holly. Nice to meet you, Holly. Jessica's here. He's here. I think he's, I don't know. People have come in, people have left. Can you guys hear me all right? A dog did? A friend of mine? Cool. Far out. Very nice to meet you. Oh, no, anyways, I was talking about whimsical. I was talking about inspiration and imagination. And that we don't, it was on the basis that we don't think about other people. I read you out loud and clear. Yeah, that we don't think about other people as much as we wish that people would think about us. Which is true. So, anyways. So I got my mic back. Before that, it came in backwards. So I was doing my whole testing. You know, the thing that I do. We don't. I'll have to show you later, but I'll show you before Terrific Tuesday ends. But no, that we live out our desired imagination. So when we were kids, I'm going to start back from the very beginning. Okay. That way it'll make more sense. And who had your mic? Hello, William. I had my mic. I had my mic put up because I switched sets. This one was at whenever I had the whole setup in the garage. It actually was. I had the picture. Hold on. I have the picture right here. This one. So whenever I was in this phase. Now, if you're new to Terrific Tuesday, every so often I change up the set. So one time I was in my backyard. One time I broke into a classroom at the local college. That's actually how it started. Fun story. One time I had a setup in my garage, which is the one that you see back here, and all the inspiring books, and there's a whole setup. One time I actually cleared this all up and I try to make it look like a doctor's office. It was a whole conceptual idea. Now I'm actually in my Red Nose Wellness office, and so I have this actually set up in the middle. I'll kind of give you a look so you guys can see what it actually looks like. So, right. So the chairs, I'll go the other way. There's me. Hi. There's the door. So Creep Night invited me. She is my bestie. Well, if she's your bestie, then that means we're besties. We're all besties. Bestie! So, hello, Sir Mike. William. What's up, Alexa? Oh my goodness, she's fine too. Yes, he's high. Hello, good to see you. My goodness, we've got a whole show. Creep Night has brought the cavalry. You have brought the cavalry. Oh my goodness. So old logo, new. That was actually the original logo. And then I switched to that very shortly, but I wasn't happy with it. Dancing feet.
Tuesday. It's Terrific Tuesday.
That singing was actually Creep Night. Thank you, Creep Night. I know it's backwards. I realized that. So what I actually did was, the reason that you also see the screens is that's a screen refresh. I tried the old computer. So this has all my Terrific Tuesday stuff. This is the Terrific Tuesday computer. I'm trying to shift back to this computer. There's still little nuanced things that I need to fix. The computer I was using to actually record all this was the Red Nose Wellness, but I'm trying to separate those so I don't get mixed up in content. So you're welcome, Thin You. You're welcome, Thin You. Everywhere I go, bring the national service with me. What? William, you're good. I do not know what you are talking about, but I am glad that you are here. So, first and foremost, how are you? How's your day going? Are you having a superly duperly awesome, amazing, fabulously, super great, the fundamentally spectacular day? How was your weekend? Did it suck? I need to know about your sucking weekends. That's what she said. Oh, God. Oh, boy. The thunderstorms were fucking kick-ass. I liked them. I liked them a lot. I liked him. When I see the thunderstorms, I say, oh, my God, look at these thunderstorms. And the thunderstorms where I see you, you see me, and we're a happy little family. Whoa. Jeremiah, don't do that. I've got a little doozy. This is my life. Where's the radio? I am a robot. Oh, ow. Sorry, that's my creaky chair. Oh, creep neck. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. There's a radio. Actually, I was in tornado training not far from Red Nose Wellness. Yet you didn't stop by, William. I say, how do you are? You're breaking my heart. Every time you say it, you say, oh, Jeremiah, oh, it's great, all fun. I said, all right, you could have been a guest star, but you ain't, weren't you? You stole it. You're breaking my heart, here. Why are you doing it? You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. I was a good girl and you had no right. Whoa. Hey, I think you lost it. That, and I also played a song that was like. That doesn't sound Arena? Okay. I'm gonna move this one backwards. Maybe I'll move backwards. I was coming up with a song. So what I was originally thinking, Team Tell Me. I saw it. I felt your fear outside of the road. I said, don't you worry, we've got no place to go. Something like that. I actually heard a song and I liked it. Like I made it, but I heard West Arena. Ballad makes it valid. Or something like that. I felt your fear on side of the road. I said, don't you worry, we've got no place to go. And I've seen the fear inside of your eyes. I said, don't you worry, one day we all die. And I felt the love the day that we met. And I prayed to God, said, don't let this be the only day that I get. And I need you more than I think you'll ever need me. I felt the fear inside of the road, and I said, don't worry, got no side of your eyes. I said, don't you worry, one day we all die. I felt the love the day that we met, and I prayed to God, don't let this be the only one I get. Something like that. That could be a thing. That could actually be a thing. I think that it could be a thing. I think it could be a thing, so I say it could be a thing. And if I say something could be a thing, well, guess what? In life, you can just do stuff. And there are consequences, and I know I go on this rabbit hole a lot, but I'm telling you, if you can imagine it, you can do it. It might not look exactly like you imagined it, but it doesn't take away the fact that you did it. It doesn't have to be pretty. You are particularly wanting things to be a particular way. And that's what gets in your way, is when you want things to be a particular way and things don't go your way because it doesn't look particularly like you thought, then you give up it. You discard it. You say, to hell with it. But what happened when you were a child and you had an imagination? And then the adults beat the hell out of your imagination. They said, isn't it time for you to grow up? Isn't it time for me to grow up? Really? Was I ever given a chance to be a child? Was anyone ever given a chance to be a child? Like I say, my God, man. We were never given a chance to be a child because our parents were never given a chance to be a child. And if our parents were never given a chance to be a child, then that means their parents were never given a chance to be a child. And how could they? Because their parents were in World War I, then World War II, then we had the baby boomers, and we give them such a bad name. Did they really even have a chance? Well, things were much simpler back then. Things get complicated. We get dicey as a human race, I tell you. Then you have the 90s. It was kind of a free fall because people didn't even know. Were we going to be more serious or were we going to be lackadaisical? And we couldn't take another 70s movement, could we? Peace and love, man. Oh, hell, we couldn't do that. So then we had to go a little bit to the left and a little to the right. And then in the 90s, early 2000s, we went into the HR era. And it wasn't even the real HR era. It was just a beta test of an HR era. It's akin to what COVID in 2020 was to what's about to happen. Because then we went from beta HR era to full-on HR era. And you know that we went full-on HR era because everyone got offended. And everyone got this practicality of being righteously right when everyone's righteously wrong. And if you're offended and I'm offended that you're offended. I'm offended that you offended that you offended that you're offended that I offended you, and then I'm offended that I offended you, that you offended me. So now that we're both offended, can we please get over it? Because this is ridiculous. If you're an asshole, I don't want to do business with you. How about that? But my God, couldn't be that simple, could we? We had to go for people's throats. Why? We had vengeance on the heart when we should have had forgiveness. We wanted blood when we should have had tolerance and patience. We asked for a sword instead of asking for some fucking Band-Aids, man. And then the rest of the world's looking around going, what the hell do we do? Because then you have some people, and this goes for both sides. If you're picking sides, then you're part of the problem. There is no sides. That's polarization, FYI. And polarization is how they get you. When I say they, then again, I'm part of the polarization at that point, aren't I? Because if you have they, then they have us and them. Look at that. Then they make you focus on the pronouns, right? There's nothing against the pronouns. But if you're focusing on the thus and the I and the them and the thee, then what the fuck does that have to do with me? If I offended you, then you offended me. Well, see, this is the HR dilemma. What are you going to do? Throw me a lawsuit? Take away my job? Burn me? Crucify me? Put me on a stake? Flip me over? Cook me like a kebab? Shit! You know what happens? Then you have the rebellion and everyone's out in the street. Let's start a revolution. No, you don't. You don't want that. You ain't going to survive. You're a house dog, a house cat. You ain't built for the jungle. Nobody is. Hell, I'm not even built for the jungle. I'm stubborn, sure. But I ain't built. I like my comfortability. And everybody likes their comfortability. We want to talk about people have this and that. Stop looking in other people's cups, making sure that they don't have more than you. Just make sure that they have something. That's the whole of be the change you like to see. The moment you say, I wish someone would do something about it, congratulations, you just assumed responsibility. Because if you walk away from something that you say, I wish someone would do something about that, if you walk away, you're no better than all the other people before you that chose to not also do something. Be very careful when you tell someone, I wish someone would do something about that, because you're taking the responsibility on. How about if you're not capable of doing something about it, recognize that maybe other people didn't either. Maybe people didn't even have it recognized. But guess what? We have access to the internet. If you're watching this, then can't tell me you don't, some way, shape, or form. I know people want to bitch about all the other things going on in the world. Well, if you could, you would. That's the dilemma we're falling into. But talk about freedom of thought. That's about to go out the window too. Am I concerned? Oh, hell no. Because at the end of the day, we are exactly where we want to be. It's not ideal, but you didn't plan it, did you? If you don't make a choice, then other people will make a choice for you. If you don't make a decision, someone else is going to make a decision. You might not like that decision, but you chose that decision actively by not choosing your own decisions. And you can bitch and moan and complain, but that was on you. If things happen in your life to which are very unfortunate, it's not a pissing contest. So don't get into those either. Well, my trauma's worse than your trauma. Well, fucking trauma. Shit that's happened to you, I'm not disregarding it. I'm not. That's not by any means. But how about you overcome your dilemmas despite the fact of the things that have happened to you? How about you become better and stronger and more resilient, because I know you have it, despite the circumstances that you have previously faced? If not, you become a product of a casualty. And that sucks even more, because then you become a statistic. But it's wild, because it's like, well, Jeremiah, what do I do if I feel beaten and damned? Well, I can tell you what not to do. Don't surround yourself with other people that are beaten and damned. My mommy used to say, sleep with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And it's true. But there's actually a solution to that. If you find yourself sleeping with dogs and you wake up with fleas, and you're like, this is itchy and uncomfortable and I don't like it. But I care and I love these people. Sometimes when you care and you love people, you do have to go off as a hero would off on a journey. Frodo with a ring to Mordor. And you have to find the treatment. You have to find the solution. You have to go out and be courageous. You can't just lay there, get uncomfortable and itched with fleas. Go find the treatment. Go find the flea treatment. Well, don't compare me to a dog. It's an analogy. Get the fuck over yourself. If you don't like that, then it's like, here's another one. A whole group of bakers upset because they have no dough, they have no flour, they have no salt or sugar. And they're all just whining, and their businesses are about to go out. And you have one courageous baker, which I'm encouraging you to be this baker, that says, you know what? Perhaps I'm going to go out and I'm going to find the resources. And I'm going to bring those resources back here, and we will be a flourishing bakery once more. They didn't just whine and cry about it. It's like, well, what do I do? Start somewhere. Well, I don't feel heard. Then speak louder. Worst thing that's going to do is, well, they'll see that again. You become a product of your own environment. If you don't like it, change it. Yeah, that's true. That's insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. But that also goes with your conversation. Take note of your words, because your words become your thoughts, and thoughts become actions. And be wary of people around you. Uneducated conversations do more harm to you than good. And that's where boundaries really should start. A lot of the times people, when they talk about boundaries, they talk about other people, but boundaries aren't for other people. You can't control other people. You can only control yourself. Boundaries aren't for other people. Boundaries are for you. What you accept and what you won't accept. You will not talk to me that way. That's a boundary for me. I will not allow you to talk to me in such a manner. That's for me. I can't control what you do, but I can control if I come around you or not. Everyone wants to go on this whole tirade of, well, if I don't like it, then it's harmful. If it's harmful, then I'm going to shut it down. And in actuality, that just makes whatever the opposing conversation or action or words were that much louder. And we already know this from childhood. What happened when your parents told you couldn't do something? You went off and you did it even more. So whenever you tell someone, don't say that, don't treat me like that, they're going to do it even more. The only solution is, one, you recognize the boundaries for yourself. Do not talk to me that way, or I will not come around you. It's that simple. I will block your number, defriend you, and we will no longer converse. Do you understand? These are the terms and conditions. Yep, okay. Still wanted to cross that boundary? All right, bye. But you have to follow through on it. But what happens is people don't want to follow through on their boundaries because they don't want to be alone. They're, in a way, married to the thought and the ideal and the image and the memory of what used to be. But you have to understand that what used to be is no longer. People change, ideals change, situations change. It's very akin to my analogy with lasagna. Life, you see, life is a piece of lasagna. Now imagine with me, right? La da da, la da da, la da da. And at some point, the piece of lasagna was gorgeous. I mean, the lights were dim. Your friends and family here, right? Boom. Some mood. I'm setting the mood. See, la da da, la da da, la da da, la da da. At some point, the lights go up. Your friends and family, they go over. We have a plate. It's where the lasagna was. Every piece was better. But at some point, the plate's empty. And then your friend comes over and says, well, let me regurgitate this piece of lasagna so you understand how good it was. It's not going to be the same, right? Well, that's actually what people that whenever we go to therapy, that's actually what you're doing is you're regurgitating your lasagna. And then you're wondering, like, why does it not taste the same? Like, it was really good or really bad. And I just want to show you the lasagna, man. The lasagna's gone. And then the most I can tell you is it tasted delicious. A perfect blend of cheese. Was that ricotta? I think it was ricotta. And the perfect ratio of sauce, meat, and cheese, and noodle. It was delicious. You should have been there. See, this is a moment in life. Well, word to the wise. You can't regurgitate it. You just can't. The moments that you've had, this right here, this is a piece of lasagna. If you're watching this with me, if you're here, if you're watching this video, this is a piece of lasagna. You might think that I'm woo-woo. That's fine. It's okay. I'm not your piece of lasagna. So, goodbye. But if you're still watching this and you're enjoying this conversation, this is a good piece of lasagna. And at some point, Terrific Tuesday ends, and I sing the whole, I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that your money didn't start. Yeah, right. But the moment's over. And luckily for you, this moment was recorded. You can go back to YouTube and you can watch it over and over. But I assure you, next Tuesday I'll be back. It'll be fine. Okay, no worries. But in life, if you find yourself eating a proverbial piece of lasagna and it tastes like cardboard, discard it, throw it away. Our parents were wrong. What about that? They were wrong, man. You don't have to eat everything on your plate. In life, if someone is being a cardboard piece of lasagna, you don't have to eat it. Because if you eat shit now, you'll feel like shit later. And I get to look at you and say, well, no shit. But if you find yourself eating cardboard lasagna, word to the wise, discard it and go get a filet mignon. Go get a cheeseburger. Go get something that really just makes you feel fulfilled. And in life, that's what I encourage you to do, is go find the things that make you really go, oh my God, the ambiance, la da da, la da da, la da dee, la da da, and enjoy it. You don't know how long it's going to last. But what happens is everyone's comparing, well, my piece is bigger or smaller than yours. That's what she said. Or, I don't have lasagna. I have no access to lasagna. Well, you do, because the lasagna is within you. You get to choose what's lasagna and what's garbage. You actively tell yourself, well, this day is shit. Well, guess what? If you say this day is shit, this day is shit. Well, I'm not enjoying today because XYZ events happened. And though I recognize those days that have happened for you, are you currently in that situation? Because if not, then at any moment, at any point of the day, you could say, thank goodness I'm not there anymore. That was a very uncomfortable conversation, and it didn't make me feel good. It was necessary, but it didn't make me feel good. Well, guess what? Eating healthy doesn't always make you feel good, but it's necessary. And sometimes whenever we get caught up in our vices and our leisures, such as eating cake, sometimes we do that and we do that and we do that. Next thing you know, you have rotting out teeth and upset stomach and diabetes. So you can't always have just the perfect lasagna, but you have to recognize when you do have the lasagna. And if something's bad, you have to realize, well, is it bad or is it just not exactly the thing I wanted, but I know it's good for me? I know I need to eat a certain amount of vegetables and fruit. I know I need to drink a certain amount of water. Though I might not like it, I know it's necessary. So that's where the disconcernment comes in. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole, man. It could, this whole conversation, depending on the perspective and the reception of it, can be taught and like quickly. You can take notes and you could like, it depends on your drive of how badly you want to get better. But if you don't want to get better, you can lie to yourself and others around you, and you'll never get better. But that's actively your choice. You get to choose. At what point do you just take the responsibility? Well, I don't take responsibility because my parents didn't take responsibility. Yeah, and their parents didn't take their responsibility. It's called co-regulation and self-regulation. You learned your dirty habits and your preferences based on your family's growing up. This is the nurture-nature dilemma. So next, you can relearn bad habits, and you can learn how to self-regulate by better co-regulating skills. That's why a lot of the times we actually surround ourselves with partners that are opposite of us, because there's some type of attribute or characteristic to which we wish that we would have modeled when we were younger. And so what we do is we find those in our lovers. And we say, well, my goodness, maybe you'll be my dirty side little vice, if you will.
And what actually is happening is you're slowly learning how to self-regulate and co-regulate. And there's a reason they found you. If you're lackadaisical, they're more stern and serious or logical, and vice versa. There's a reason. What I'm getting at is things just aren't random monopolies. They're just, things are strategically created. According to social psychology, opposites actually do not work out. Also, to social psychology, there's a lot of things that actually there's not. There is a healthy amount of things that I disagree with. Actually, that is one of them. I think there's a healthy amount of personality. You can't always use it, parents, as an excuse, and if you do, that is a victim mentality and will not serve you. So the disagreement of, according to social psychology, opposites actually do not work out. Going back to that, the study that they actually cite does not put in all of the variables. They took a study of, and correct me if I'm wrong, like 40-year marriages, and the 40-year marriages, it was like 10 marriages, and 1 out of 9 or out of 10 actually worked out. But they also didn't. The problem that I had with that actual study, or if it's the same study we're talking about, I don't know. But the study on it was that they also did not put in the variables such as social economic growth over time. They didn't put into factor of family upbringings, and they didn't, there's another one. I'll think of it. It's a Mahikadunga. The problem that I have, especially with educational, like some of the educational studies, is that you can never put in too many variables. I would say that we're opposite, but we still have a lot of things in common, right? See, that's actually the variables also. You have to put in so many factors, because if it is, I don't know if that's the same study. Is this the one from the 2004 Harvard study? It was a 2004 Harvard study from Waltz and I can't think of the last name. I'm gonna get stuck on it. Anyways, that's a whole conversation in itself. But is it like, right? But sometimes you have to look at, are they staying together because they truly love each other, or because of financial issues where a woman is unable to leave, or a man unable to leave? Not sure that the study was in my textbook. Oh, if you can't see everyone's comments, go up on the comments and it says top comments. Change that to all comments. It is in the chat field. It is, I believe, in the top, in the chats. It's in the top left part. It says top chat or live chat. Go to live chat. I don't know why it actually does that, Holly. Are traditionally men worked and women stayed home? Yes, right. This is actually, this is, but not are. Make sure the messages are set to all, Holly. Right, but that's actually what I'm saying is, like, the statistics based on a lot of the studies, there's not enough data to be able to say for certain. Now, this is a good conversation because this is also mixed with conflict. Conflict resolution. Ooh. All right. Remind me later, because I can go on a whole tirade about it. But back to it. If we went off of the notion, based off of the educational literature, that opposites do not attract, and don't stay together. People have more connection with those who are like them. Correct. But if you surround yourself with nothing but people that you have in common and that are on the mentality likewise on the same level, then you are practically putting yourself in a silo of just the same information. And then you have agreeable people. And that's where a lot of the discomfort happens from people that don't like to be disagreed with. This is actually right on topic, and I'm really glad that you brought it up. I really am, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can't only surround yourself around people that like you and that you like and that agree with you. You have to surround yourself around people that oppose some of your ideals and will disagree with you, because you have to learn how to disagree agreeably. Now, there are going to be characteristics that, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately loosely, that you do have to have some common ground. You will always have to have some type of common ground or common interest. That is very true, because you can't have just a polar opposite versus a polar opposite. If that's like the study what you're reading on the textbook, then that's a whole another conversation, and I completely wipe my comments earlier, because if it's two spectrums and that there's not a baseline of relativity, then there's no connection. It doesn't even compute. There are people that actually come in for Redness Wellness for my practice that we are totally on totally different wavelengths. And they actually don't, for the most part, don't even flirt with the idea that any service that I could provide could help them. And we actually have the same conversation every time, because it feels like conflict from the moment that you talk. And I mean, like, it's just two opposing factors. It's like putting the magnets, two positive fields of a magnet, and they just won't ever touch. And that's actually true. And we actually very often will feel this in the workspace, but then the workspace becomes the common factor. And so then we actually build a case off of that. But we'll experience this with customers that come into our work field. And the only commonality that they have in the work field is that they're buying whatever product. And that's not enough. And so what actually ends up happening is studies show that those people will avoid your lines and avoid doing any type of service with you. But it happens so microly because we have micro actions that our amygdala actually picks up very quickly, to which we don't even acknowledge them. They're so micro that the hippocampus doesn't even have time to react from the contextual memories. So the amygdala doesn't even get activated. So then your whole medulla oblongata, your physiological sense, doesn't even go into factor. So no blood pressure, no heart rate, no sweating. It's great. Happens on a micro level. This happens all the time. We actually run into these people all the time. They're in polar opposites. It's wild. It's wild because nobody ever has this conversation. We subconsciously avoid people because they're not on the same vibration, man. So, comments. Not everyone is like each other. So even though you may surround yourself with like opinions, that does not mean they will always agree, which hopefully they don't. That's true. Do not stay in a toxic relationship because of financial or kids. Your kids will respect you more for getting a divorce than keeping them in a toxic relationship. Yeah, but that's more easier said than done. That's like asking a woman in a toxic, abusive relationship, why doesn't she just leave? The response and the action of why she stays is actually a lot more complex, and it's not an easy conversation. So it's not always just, well, why don't you just leave? The kids will respect you, because like that's the ideally outside of the box. That's like, isn't that logical? But you have to also put in emotional investment, and you have to put long-term strategy, and you have to put in just all these different factors to which nobody knows what you know. Nobody knows all of the factors to which one could consider in any situation. And that actually makes my argument even stronger, to where in a relationship, it's very rarely love that fully keeps people together. It's not. There are so many factors that keep someone together. Women want to feel protected and secure, and men want to protect and make women feel secure. Now, that's the archetypes, okay? So if you want to come at me with, well, what about two lesbians? Well, one takes this it's masculinity versus feminality. I can't ever pronounce feminality. I'm stuck. You're stuck? Are you stuck emotionally, relationship-wise, or physically? Femininity. There are so many factors. But see, like even this conversation, we all have a common agreement with each other. If not, you guys would have already cussed me out in the comments and said, you nimwit, stupid dummy. And well, then I'd be like, just stop watching. I truly think that we forever disagree about the connection thing, though. I truly think we will forever disagree about the connection thing, though. What do you mean? I doubt that. Because I don't think from comments, I don't think that any conversation is absolute ever. Because in the moment, you have to put into the factor of perception and reference. And you have a different perspective, which I agree. But that doesn't mean your reference is 100% wrong, and doesn't mean my reference is wrong. It just means that we have different perspective. But that actually right there is even cooler. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool because it's like, well, what is this? Right? If you've never heard of the brand before, you say it's a can. But I was specifically, without saying obviously the details, I was looking, what's the name of the brand? Well, if you've never seen the brand, then you don't know. Well, let me take another perspective. Can you turn it around? I need to see the whole conversation, the whole view. Oh, okay, it's a brand called Arizona. I've never heard of them. Oh, well, then that's another factor. Oh, opposites attracting. Okay, maybe you got that. Or Creep Night will moderate you. Hey, Creep Night will moderate. Holly, you are stuck in what situation? Or are you stuck in the comments? Are you stuck watching me? Oh, God. If you're stuck watching me, I'm so sorry. Here's the song of the dance. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss. Oh, baby, my heart's on fire. The one I am with is not Manning. I am 100% girl. Wait, the one I am with is not Manning. I am 100% girl. Wait, so you're not allowed to be 100% girl because you have to demonstrate some of the masculinity to compensate for the variance? See this conversation? You guys can get me on a roll and I'm going to be like, da-ba-ding, bada-boom, bada-bum, bada-bee. She-bada-bom, bada-bee, bada-bom. See, the wild part is that masculinity and femininity, I can't pronounce it. Masculinity and femininity fluctuate. There are feminine traits to which I display, and there are masculine traits. Now, a majority of my masculinity is very prevalent. There would be an absolute issue if I shifted and I had more feminine traits than masculinity traits, and then let's say you're in a relationship and your partner is more feminine and you're more masculine, if you change up too quickly and without reference and very suddenly, and you start displaying more feminine traits than masculinity traits, then the opposite part has to compensate. You are an equilibrium. In any partnership and any friendship, there's always an equilibrium. And this is where I think it's funny, because it's like, this goes back to the whole connections part. There's never this baseline of you're just equal, like, because at face value it can look equal, but in all fairness, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, because how would I know who I was without you? And so we subconsciously will subject ourselves to, well, if they're showing more masculinity, I have to choose, am I going to one-up them on masculinity, or am I going to submit and show more female traits? Now, I say submit in the sense of that whole dominance, but women, if you look at Viking times, because I know a majority of the viewers are women, so hold on, let me finish before you type it out. That is perceived dominance. Dominance in the form of masculinity. There are areas to which feminine traits will always dominate masculine traits. You will always dominate masculine traits when it comes to taking care of children. And it's not, I'm not saying woman versus man, I'm saying feminine traits and masculinity traits. Feminine traits, children need a feminine touch. They need that, oh, you hit your knee, poor baby, Kids look at that and they go, okay, well, that's safe. And I need to be safe, because at some regards, I can't protect myself. And I know that. I'm not going to be a joke about it. So I know that. So I'm going to go what's safe, and safe is feminine, because I know the feminine is protected by masculinity. If this is making sense, I'm not trying to butcher it, because I know how quickly it could go off track. And I'm not trying to do that at all. But there's this equilibrium balance at it. There are things that, if I was more feminine, then I would have a much better relationship with my kids. And I know that, like, I do. But at some degree, I also will not sacrifice that. And I keep my masculinity, because there's a time that the masculinity also teach in equality, in an equal manner, will treat my kids very well. That it's like, okay, well, I'm protected until I can protect myself. And then I need to learn how to really protect myself, and I need to learn my boundaries. And you learn boundaries from both parents and both sides. So it's, in that regard, they're very equal. But there's attributes and to both sides. There's pros and cons to both sides. And there's not one that's better than the other. And it's like a dance. Like, you take one step, like in waltz, right? So in a waltz, I step forward, you step back, you step forward, I step back, I step forward, and you have your hands, and you have this motion, right? And that's very much the masculinity and feminine conversation. And studies actually prove this over and over, where there's like two feminine parents, and the kids significantly don't do well. And there's studies where there's two masculine parents, and the kid doesn't do well. Like, and that's all sexes involved. Like, so there is an equilibrium. So just clarification, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm not saying one's more dominant in the same manner than the other, because they both have their domineering traits. So before I read the comments, I want to make sure that was clear. Femininity. There are narcissistic relationships too. Narcissistic is all over him. You know who, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't. Who's narcissistic? The importance of having both parents is in the kids' lives. Sorry, Jeremiah, but I don't think if you were more feminine, you would have better relationships. not a who, but narcissistic relationships in general. She ain't saying anyone in the group. She made it about her boyfriend. Okay, one, if I were more feminine, I would have a better relationship. When something goes wrong with my kids, with my sons, they want mama. And they want mama because mama nurtures them and will stay quiet and hold them and just baby them. And it's not a bad thing at all. But she very much is female, that she feminine, sorry, but gives them the nurturing that they need at that time. They stub their toe, they come to me, and I'm like, sucks to suck, man. Oh, that's all right, go on. And sometimes they need that. But a majority, especially in their young ages, they're needing that feminine care because they're like, it just hurts. It's like, get over it, stop it. For me, it's like, in life, you're going to fall down. And a lot of the times people will do this whole culture cater conversation. And it's like, it's not that at all. But it's important because you have to allow that to happen. You never, ever like be hard on the feminine quality. And that can come from man or woman, right? But never harp on it, and vice versa. Now, if the masculinity goes too hard on child, the feminine part goes, hey, I think that was a little too far, right? And we've heard this before. Or if the feminine part goes a little too far, then masculinity goes, hey, I think that's enough. And that's actually where the disagreements and the conflicts happen. So, sorry, that to wrap up. Now, on to narcissists. Fuck yeah. Narcissistic. Hello there. That's all I was trying to say. All right. Narcissistic. Jessica said, who's narcissistic? Statistically, though, men have better relationships than women with their children when their children are boys. I guess statistically, my household does not apply to that study. But then again, it's my job to be nurturing. It's his to be tough. Job. Disagree there. Job. Role. It just is. Good night, Kendall. It just is. But no, it's roles that it's not a job, it's a role. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, but clarifying, okay? This conversation can go on forever. Damn it. My goodness. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to make a whole video on this. Because obviously there are statements and views that I've made that you could disagree with if you're watching this. And if that's so, then don't necessarily come at me with criticism, but educate me and show me where your backing comes from, because I will too. And then we can compare notes and call it good. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, narcissistic. Narcissistic, in a lot of regards, happen. Actually, no, not in a lot. A majority of narcissism comes from the masculinity trait. And this is because you're like, well, females can be narcissistic too. Masculinity. This goes on to the whole masculinity, femininity. What happens with masculinity is with narcissism, is that you over-projected your capabilities, and you are accounting for overcompensation to which you do not have in hand. And you know that you do not have the compensation at hand because those around you that know you best know that you are using fearful tactics and controlling behaviors to compensate for said attributes to which you lack. Does that make sense? Narcissism comes from the ideal that you're better than what you actually are. And subconsciously you know it. So you treat others in a very demeaning way to compensate for which those attributes you do not have. I think that was worded a little better. You cannot always avoid stepping on your partner's toes. That's walking on eggshells. I agree with that. Actually, I fully agree with that. You can't always avoid stepping on your partner's toes, to which there has to be a conversation and an understanding. It is not healthy to walk on eggshells, and you are going to walk on each other's toes, especially doing a dance. But you have to have a reasonable conversation and realize that the other other party in any relationship, you have to recognize if they unintentionally did it, if they're meaning it in good faith, or if they have malicious intent. This goes to the, is it in good faith or is it malicious intent conversation? Malicious intent is, I know that if I say something, they're not going to handle it well in good faith, and they have malicious intent of thinking that I'm attacking them and that they took it personal. So there's that whole conversation itself. No, narcissistic people do not understand, even on a subconscious level, that they are lacking in capabilities. Not consciously, subconsciously, that is actually where they are making up for the deficit of their attributes. So consciously, no, they have no fucking idea. Subconsciously, they're compensating because it's a survival tactic. Please don't see me for who I am. It is a hell of a conversation. But narcissistic people, that actually goes to my joke that I said a few shows ago. Narcissistic people don't know that they're narcissistic. The biggest narcissistic conversation is saying that, or how to spot a narcissist is they're the first ones to tell you they're not narcissistic. We all have narcissistic attributes to us. We can all be narcissistic. But if you want to find a narcissist, narcissists are the first ones to adamantly say that they're not narcissistic. And narcissistic people will usually not be able to willingly say, yeah, I can be narcissistic sometimes. Tenacious tendencies. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm pulling this psych degree to use and keeping you here. Oh, no, you're good. This is a whole conversation. All right. Oh my God, it is 9:26. Who's still here? 4 viewers. This has been a fun conversation. I should have a Red Nose Wellness live, to where I just geek out. Here. Got one here. Unfortunately here. Oh, bye, Felicia. What do you mean, unfortunately? Unfortunately. Breaking my heart. Or were you saying the narcissistic people can't acknowledge that they're narcissistic? Is that the unfortunately? Joking. Oh, you're joking. Okay. 2 here. Creep Night, you still here? Anyways, this is a good conversation. If you have questions, I do have a Discord. If you want to keep the conversation going. See, these conversations I can geek out on. Cool. We had two new viewers. Lexa was watching, and Holly. Welcome. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that your Monday didn't suck. Now it's terrific Tuesday. All I gotta say is, what? I hope that you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that your Monday didn't suck. And now it's terrific Tuesday. All I gotta say is, what? Okay, my apologies. I looked up the subconscious level versus the severe correct. I know my psychology. I know. I'm going to read the study, though. I'm going to read the study. Me, creep night is here. Hello, the creep night. Hello, the creep night. Hello, the creep night. Hey. I hope they ain't a one for weekend. I hope you Monday decent. Now it's terrific Tuesday. All I'm gonna say is what? Hope that you had a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so it's wonderful Wednesday. Next to terrific Tuesday, right before marvelous Monday. I'm really a hard one. Oh, I say all I gotta say is, what?